Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Casrats Gaming here, and today I wanted to come at you guys with another video. It's not the same type of video that you're used to. This is going to be a tribute video to my bearded dragon Nagafen, who has crossed the Rainbow Bridge and he has passed. Long story short, so he was dealing with some dental disease prior to this happening, and the doctor sent him on his way, got him all better. He had a good appetite. He was eating. He was doing fine. I thought, well, maybe I got some more time with this baby. It's not his time yet. Well, today that time came. Unfortunately, now, last night when I got home, I found him staring straight up to the ceiling. His beard was completely black. His shoulders were black. So immediately I thought, oh God, there's no vet that's open right now. What do I do? So I just thought home care, home remedies, start giving him pumpkins, start feeding him stuff like baby food, and I have some of that stuff already on hand because I feed Bearded Dragon. That's what we do. We feed prunes, we feed all kinds of stuff just for bowel movements to help get it moving, like more of a laxative. And I thought maybe he's impacted. He hasn't pooped. I saw him trying to poop a while back, and he couldn't do it. And like his bowels started slowing down as he aged. Everything starts to slow down and not work as well as it did. And so I said, okay, well, first thing in the morning, I'm taking him to the vet. We're going to go to that doctor and see what he thinks. Maybe this is just another episode of dental disease. Maybe we'll be home tonight and everything will be okay, and I'll just give him medicine and we'll get him better. Rehydrate him and everything like that, if whatever issues he's got. Take him to the doctor. They feel of his belly. They say that there's a mass in his belly. So he felt of his belly before, and there was no mass. There was no mass. He kind of had these little soft lumps on his belly, and the doctor told me to keep a check on it, keep a close eye. They never turned hard. He said if they turn hard or they're like sac-like fluid, it could be cancer. Well, during this video, not video, sorry, I screwed up. During this visit, he felt of a mass on his stomach and his belly, and he said there's a mass, and it feels like there's some sac-like fluid in there. So I knew what he meant by that, that it could have possibly been cancer. And then he takes him back to the ultrasound room, and he comes back and he says, we found that Naggy has probably got some kidney issues, maybe some kidney disease, maybe kidney failure, because we've seen inflammation on the ultrasound, and usually when we see that, we see a lot of bearded dragons. What's typical is that their kidneys are failing or not working as well as they should be, so it's actually dehydrating him, and he's lost a ton of weight. He lost like over 110 grams, and for a bearded dragon, you don't really want to lose that much weight. That's significant weight. That would be like a human being losing like 80 pounds, like that. Like a person like me, heavy set dude, without even trying, like unexplained weight loss or stuff like that. Just boom, just 80 pounds gone. Like I weigh like 270, whatever. I'm not shy about it. I'm trying to make a change. I'm trying to get healthier. I'm losing weight, but intentionally, by the way. Yeah, he lost over 100 grams, and so I wanted to try to get him a little better because I'm selfish, and I think that every pet owner in the world has that feeling of selfishness to a degree. They don't want their pets to pass on. They don't want their pets to just not be there anymore, but that's a fact of life, and so that's just the way it is. My dad and I went, so I say we after we had the visit, we got maybe 1,000 feet down the road, and he started to get really, really bad. Like his mouth started opening up, and I'll spare all the other details, but he was just really, really not in a good place, and he just did not feel good at all, and it's terrible. But that's how it is. And you wonder as a pet owner, all the things that go through your mind when this is happening. Like, what could I have done better? What could I have prevented this? What could I have done more of so he wouldn't have passed away, when he did? But he lived to be 8 years old. And so 8 years old in bearded dragon years compared to human years. There isn't no scientific chart for that, but an estimate says, I asked AI. It said an estimate is somewhere between 62 to 65 years old for a human being. You know, so he lived a pretty decent life. Their life expectancy is somewhere between 8 to 12 years for a bearded dragon in captivity. That's how long they're expected to live for. You have outliers, of course. There are outliers for everything. There are bearded dragons that pass away unexpectedly, just out of the blue. You read about that, and there's nothing you did wrong. You know, and that goes back to the whole pet owner thing and the thought process of what could I have done? What could I have done? I think as human beings, we all go through this. We all go through this thought process of, did I do everything I could have? And I gave him a good life. You know, we watched football together on Sundays. You're going to see some of that. I prepared a slideshow, so I didn't want to spoil it in the beginning of the video, but this is going to be a video where I give a slideshow. Let me tilt my camera over here. My camera fell off, and it's really kind of a pain to adjust just right how I want it. If I shake my desk a little bit, it'll move. It'll kind of just like move over to the side. My desk is not very sturdy. It's sturdy enough to hold everything, but it's not like a heavy-duty desk. But anyways, so I made that decision to have him euthanized, put down. After he started getting bad, we drove right back to the vet, and we said, no, listen, we want to have him put to sleep because, and they took the medicine back. They took they took that off of the bill and everything. But I wanted to be a responsible pet owner and do the right thing. I didn't want to see him suffer, and so it was really, really hard to throw my human emotions aside. Like I don't want my baby to just not be with me anymore. That's not how it works, you know. So I had to make that tough decision, man, and it's, you know, I'm still thinking about him right now. This is usually our holding time. Like I'm getting ready to put him in the bed. He's wrapped up in the blanket. He's all warm from my body heat. They love body heat. They love to be held. They love the human touch, you know. And so I'll take you guys a little bit into how I got into reptiles. So we'll stop talking about the bad. I love my baby. He's gone. Rest in peace. He's in a better place. But I got into reptiles watching a guy called Viper Keeper on YouTube. He keeps venomous snakes. So he keeps king cobras. They're not defanged, anything. It's crazy. He keeps black mambas, stuff that could kill you in one bite. And he's had a few close calls. You know, I respect that kind of stuff, and so I would watch that kind of thing, and that's what got me into the hobby. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I didn't want to keep no venomous snakes. I have respect for that. That's not my thing. I can't handle that kind of stuff. I really think you need an apprenticeship before you, and really have to be passionate about that kind of thing and really take it seriously. Because if you get bit, it's $20,000. It could be more than that now. And I don't know, you know, how much it costs now. But when I was watching these videos back in like 2014, he was saying something like it's going to be $20,000 every time you take a bite. So mistakes cannot be made. So I just have a great admiration for that. Then I found that led me into another rabbit hole, finding another YouTube channel and called Clint's Reptiles. So I started watching Clint's Reptiles and looking up what would make a good starter pet if you wanted to get into the hobby. What would make a great starter pet? And so I started looking at all of them. They had crested geckos, we had leopard geckos and stuff like that. And the bearded dragon popped up, and there was a little clip showing them how they eat, and they're just like this, moving their mouth really, really fast, like 90 miles an hour. Their mouth's going like that, and then they stop whenever they get done chewing it, and then they swallow. I just thought that was the cutest thing ever. And my bearded dragon, if he didn't want anything, like I had a little piece of salad I would put up to his lips, and if he didn't want it, he would smack it away. He'd actually take his hand and physically smack it out of my hands and smack it away. And it was just so funny. It would make you laugh every time. And he just brought a great, tremendous amount of joy into my life. And so I wanted to go ahead and share this slideshow. There's about 13 pictures or so. I don't really know what happened to the first one, but I'm going to share it anyway. It's plenty of pictures, plenty to get my story out, show, the kind of life he had, just being pampered. He was a pampered beardy, He had his little blankie, call it blanket. He had his log. He had everything he needed in life to be happy, and he lived a good life, and I'm thankful for that. Without further ado, here's the slideshow. Hope you guys enjoy. That was it. We were watching football in that one photo about 3 years ago when it's like the super close up of his face. He's just so handsome. He's just such a handsome baby. I'm gonna miss him a lot, and I just wanted to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel. Thank you guys so much for the support. It really means a lot to me. Going forward in this community, I'm looking forward to making content for you guys and having a chat with y'all during stream and all those memories that we're going to make together and the monsters that we'll slay. You get the reference to Eminem. Hope everyone has an amazing rest of your Saturday and weekend. I will not be streaming. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. That might change. I don't know. I'm just going to have to see how I feel. I'm still grieving. It still hurts. So that's the video I wanted to make for right now. And that's it. Thank y'all for watching.